All right, everybody, welcome back. I am over here at my favorite spot, second favorite spot, don't know. Let me pan to it. You guys have seen this. It's the pond from the first video. Great conditions. It's about 10 till 10 in the morning, 75 degrees, sunny. Just came from the pond, small pond, where I got that 3.39. And since he bit on the KVD square bill over there, we're gonna roll with the KVD square bill here first and see if I get any action, and if not, I'll quickly change up. So I'm gonna get some stuff together, get loaded up, and we'll head out to the water. See you in a minute. Set timer 55 minutes.
Your timer is set for 55 minutes.
All right, guys, so here we are at my spot, and immediately I see swirls. Fished here last night, used a jig. I'm not a good jig fisherman. Caught a couple with the jig, nice, decent fish. Did not post that video. Doubt I'll put that video up of the jig fishing. Just came from a spot where I caught a 339 using a KVD square bill. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and lead off with here. I haven't thrown anything like this over here this year. All I've thrown is larger lures, the Pompadour, the Firecracker. So I'm gonna give something smaller a try here and see if I can't produce with something smaller. And if I don't get any action relatively quickly, I'll switch up. My brother was having good luck with the Jackal Firecracker last night. I've got one on me, obviously. So we'll see what happens. Don't like about this lure is it's gonna grab weeds, and there are, especially on that far side of this pond, quite a bit of weeds. So I'm gonna go rod tip up. There's one. Oh, spit it out. That was a bass. Decent fish. I'm gonna go ahead and angle this camera down a little bit more. So at least it looks like they're gonna like it. Surprised that one got off. So yeah, we'll roll with this and see what happens. A lot of bluegill right here, which probably explains why there's some bass action. Not interested in casting this thing a mile. The fish at this pond are all right up here inshore, so. Oh, big bass just swirled right in front of me. Like to get my hands on that one. Oh, there it is. Look at that, guys. You can see the bass. See it in the water right there? That's hilarious. Now let's see if I can get it to bite over there now. Wow, that was awesome. Nice that you got that on, not to see. Whoa, big swirl right there by the pipe. So very active this morning. The bass are obviously feeding. Let me throw this back over in here. I'm just gonna slow roll this through there and see if I can't coax a bite on whatever that was that just slammed something over here. This right here, this pipe, like I've said previously, a lot of rocks, a lot of hiding spots, and there's bass use this as a hiding spot, an ambush spot all the time. So not surprised to see explosions going on over here. So an action-packed first couple minutes here, and I've barely moved 10 feet. haven't caught, but all right, last cast here, and then I am moving on. I want to work as much of this pond today with a couple different lures. And I've also got that lake a short distance from here. Man, there is just fish everywhere right here. Oh, had bite. There is just an insane amount of fish right here in this weed bed area. Both decent sized bluegill and then bass feeding on the smaller bluegill. But like I said, I'm not dwelling on one area. Or down ahead of me, because I can see a continuously moving ripple moving away from me. Turtle, snake, or fish that's just straight up trolling down the shore. Love the lure, the action this lure has. Mimics the small bait fish in this pond that these bass in here are feeding on or used to feeding on. Definitely not as big a lure as I'm used to fishing. But as you saw, or you'll see in the other video that I'll post for sure, it produces, because that was a 339 at the spot I was at right before I came here. So this side of the pond typically not too productive. Gonna cast and move, and I'll slow down when I get to this corner. I'm gonna drop this down a little bit more. Trying to find the perfect angle and a way to remember that perfect angle on this thing. So that those ripples are a small school of bait fish, and they don't know it, but they are entering the danger zone in this corner, where they are one of these bass that lurks down on this corner. Will absolutely come up in the shallows and smash them. Yeah, it's about 15 or 20 little bait fish. And they don't know it, but their lives are in danger. There's a fish working ahead right by that kiddie pool. Oh yeah. This lure started off with promise. I don't know though. I'll stick with it. There's one. That's a small one. Oh, spit it. That was probably 3D, guys, right back in your face. Tiny. But like I've said, that's the health of this pond, that there is generations of fish that, as long as you're using a small enough bait, you can catch. There's definitely something working in this corner right over here, just beyond this kiddie pool. I don't know how I'll do with this lure once I get past this back side, because it's a lot of weeds down there on that flat, and this lure is going to be terrible anywhere where there's weeds. Something just broke right here. Oh, there's a bluegill because I got a small bump. All right, let's move on down. Like I said, I'll speed fish this. I'd rather get the Pompadour on or get the firecracker on. Monster leatherback alligator. There's a really small bass. There you go, guys. Legend of the deep right there. But like I've said, I enjoy seeing these small aggressive bass, knowing that in a few years they're going to be a big aggressive bass. So, oh, that's one way to do it. Thank you. Hey, here's my brother's lure. Look, this was broken off and spit off my brother the other day. I'm gonna go ahead and hold on to that and get that back to him. Nice. Throw it in the old box here. Excellent. That's $3 or $4. $3 or $4 back. All right, now I want to catch that little bass's dad. That would have been one of the 3-foot-long carp that live in this pond. There's about 7 or 8 of them. They are absolute beasts. Never hooked one, haven't tried to hook one. Probably wouldn't want to hook one, but they're in here. They're every bit of 3 foot long. And they're frequently in that shallow water like that. I'm guessing sunning, warming up, I don't know. Generally scaring the hell out of me. All right, so here we are on these flats. I worry about all the weeds I'm gonna pick up, so I'm gonna go to a real high rod tip to try to keep this thing skimming across the top, and even that may not be enough. I don't want to not fish it because the bass do go after bluegill on here. So I'm gonna try to have this thing go right at the top of the water. But like I've said, I'm not gonna waste a ton of time. There was a big swirl behind it. I'm gonna cast right back out to that area because that was something nice. Well, whatever it was, moved on. I won't be oh, there was a nice bass right behind it. Turned away at the last second. And another bass just broke surface right here to my right. I'm telling you, they work this area. Got one. Small, but like I told you, they work this area. So nothing to write home about, nothing to brag about, but another fish. So again, guys, future health of this pond looking good. A little bit bigger than that other small one, so liking the fact that I'm catching them all sizes. So we'll get him back out. And that's I guess that's, oh shit. Did you see the size? I don't know if that was one of the carp or if that was a monster bass, but something right there. My goodness. I'm gonna guess with the size of that silt swirl that I scared one of the carp. But man, oh man, was that awesome. I think I literally ran into it with the lure, which is what freaked it out. I know there's bass that are bedding right in here in this next 30 yards to my left. And something just chased a bunch of small bait fish to my left about 6 feet, so. Oh, had one. Hope it bites again. There went a big bass right there. Came up into the shallows chasing something and turned and darted back to deeper water. A lot of weeds in this corner, so I don't know how much luck or whatever I'll have down here. There's one. Small, again, ambush. Now we just need the big brothers of these fish to hit. So again, guys, nothing special, obviously, a dink, majorly, but lots of fun. There's a big one tearing shit up down here. It was just in here ripping up stuff in this shallow stuff right here to my left. So let's see if we can't. So many weeds though. That's the only thing about this corner. Oh, there it is. It's a small one. May or may not have been the one I just saw, but an aggressive hit nonetheless. He's hooked good. Very aggressive fish. As you see, again, a little bit bigger. Big belly on it for a fish its size, but a nice aggressive hit. And my hands reek, so let's take a second and I'm not convinced that was the fish I saw. So I'm gonna give a couple more casts here. Should tie on that lure that I just found back there that Chris had lost, because he lost that last night on a big fish. Oh, I do have something. It's gonna be a bluegill. No, it's a small bass. I thought I had missed something, and then the line kept going. So again, one of the babies of the pond, and that's just a product of how small this lure is. But again, very healthy little fish, great color. Look forward to catching this guy in a couple years. So I haven't decided square bill, or not square bill, firecracker or Pompadour next. I'm thinking Pompadour. Although my brother had good luck with the firecracker last night. Guys, this pond is healthy. Frogs and tadpoles. Oh, almost bit it. Frogs and tadpoles, bait fish and small bass. And then you guys have seen a couple of the bigger fish that we've caught out of here. Coming out here with buckets and stringers, which has happened. We'll be all right. I guess one guy had like a 6 or 7 pounder on, and when the homeowner stepped out and said, "Hey, do you live here?" Just had one on, but it got off. It was tiny. The guy said no, and the homeowner told him to put the fish back and that he wasn't allowed to fish here. The guy took off running to his car with the bass still on his line and drove off with the bass. So we lost a big fish there, but then the guy never came back, so. I honestly think today that they may bite anything that I put in front of them. Weeds that are in this corner. I really like fishing this pond. I'll be surprised if I don't pull something along this shoreline heading down to that black pipe, because this area is loaded with weed beds. Definitely hanging up over here. Don't normally cast out deep, but let's check it out. That's, oh, there's one. Then it got off. That was maybe a 2 pounder at most. That fish was in shallow because that cast that I hooked that on, I thought I was too shallow and up in the weeds, but that's where these fish are hiding. There's a small one. Again though, came out of cover and grabbed it. That's how the fish in this pond definitely operate. Little fish, feisty. Are taking advantage of this stuff that's in the water and using it as ambush points, so I've left it. As you guys have seen, the pond is healthy, so I don't think a plastic bag and a plastic kiddie pool are doing too much harm. There's another one. Small. Got him by the mouth and the side of the head. Again, guys, aggressive little fish. Another one. This is a little bit bigger. Here we go. Yeah, he's taking line. Again, nothing huge, but definitely the biggest fish I've caught today. You guys are gonna love this. Let me get him unhooked here. I'm gonna show you down this fish's throat. It's got another fish's tail sticking up out of its throat where it ate another fish recently. So hold on a second, let me get it. So first of all, beautiful fish. Look at the size of that, look at the size of that belly. But more funnily, look, see down in the throat there? See that other fish's tail in there? So, trying to get you guys a variety of angles. See the tail sticking up out of its throat? Let me do this. So yeah, just recently ate another fish. Want to get a weight on this. She's squirming pretty good. I don't know how easy this is gonna be. Big old belly on that thing. Look at the size of that belly, guys. My goodness, look at that. Just a football. Sit still. Nope. $2.99. Give it one more whirl. 302, 297. We're gonna call it right at a 3-pounder, guys. So, beautiful fish. Very healthy, obviously ready to pop on the spawn. Let's go ahead and get it back in the water. There we go. So at least fishing around with the with that lure wasn't for nothing. Try to work this last. Nice to catch a 3-pounder on a small lure like this, but it just goes to show. Yeah, I like saying go big or go home. But you know what, guys? It doesn't have to be a monster $30 bait to catch a nice fish. I'm just partial to those $30 baits. What can I say? Oh, drop the scale. Being up against my battery timer and the fact that the water there is like trying to look through paint, I'm gonna move up here and get these last couple casts. Because here we are back at this pipe, guys, where big ones hang on either side and in there because there are rocks and cover and bait fish. So I want to cast this before this battery dies and before I change batteries and retie and we move around again with a different lure. So there's another one. Just like I said, guys, came up out of those rocks. Nothing big, but it shows you what I was talking about. That fish This fish, get it off and get it, toss it back in the water here. These trebles on this thing are fierce. This fish was right there, basically inshore on that rock, and hit it right as it came across that rock. So it's exactly what I've been telling you guys every time I've come up to this spot to fish it, is that they are down in these rocks and come out and ambush. Last cast, straight out, bring it right down the pike here, because this is where the rocks are. All right, guys, gonna change batteries, retie. I'll be back with you in a minute. All right, guys, welcome back. Changed batteries, went inside, showed my, this is my grandma's pond, showed grandma the footage of that fish from earlier today, came back out, tied off. I'm a sucker for the Pompadour, what can I say? It's ugly, it's fun. So that's what I've put on for this pass around, and just in the 5 minutes that I've been here retying, lots of action right here in this first 40 feet of water. So maybe we'll catch them, maybe we won't. Wanted to reiterate, guys, when I tie off, change lures, break off, whatever I do, and I'm changing and cutting, every scrap of my line goes into my pocket. I don't litter, I pick up stuff when I'm around. So please, less impact, be good to the environment, don't litter. There's a big bass working right here to our left. Oh, big miss. Did you guys see that? There is something just over here ripping up bait fish in the shallows. Love this lure. I'm gonna angle this camera up just a hair. Don't even know if that changed it or not, but I guess we'll find out. Again, look at all that action. Although something is in there just scaring the heck out of those bluegill. All right, I'm gonna cast over here a few times. And there's something working over here to my right as well. Lots of action today, guys. Gonna put this bad boy over here. On the spot. Big swirl, big bite, there we go. It missed it the first time. Came after and got it. Not a huge fish, guys, but a nice fish. Well, it's bigger than it looked. And it just shows that this lure, there you go. It just shows that this lure does produce. Nice little largemouth here. Hooked up really well. He wasn't going anywhere. Not gonna put a scale on it. Nothing super noteworthy. Nice fish though. We'll take it all day long. No tail sticking out of its mouth, but still an aggressive hit. Nice fish, fun to catch, especially on that top water. Let's go ahead and get it back in the water. There we go. There's one. Nice little fish. Thank you. So again, guys, for this pond, heavy hitting, hard hitting, beautiful fish. Hooked him solid. He wasn't going anywhere with that. But not in the mouth. Big lure, hard for all but the biggest fish to really get a hold of. And I've got the line all wrapped around those pliers. So again, guys, not a huge fish, pretty fish. Let's go ahead and get him back in the water. And there he goes. There it is. Nothing big, but again, saw it doing its thing, cast over there, and sure enough, the Pompadour produces again. Big belly on this fish, not an exceedingly large fish. So again, guys, extremely aggressive. Nice belly on this fish. Nothing huge, tons of fun to catch. This time I'll get it there. There we go. That's where I wanted to be. I'm gonna guess that that was the fish. Oh, there's one. Small. Fighter. Another one, guys. Nice little fish. Not bad at all. So as you guys see, areas where I just extensively cast. Oh, well. Go, go. Ah. There we go. So in the interest of time, I'm going to pretty quickly move down this back and around this corner. Love catching them, but the number one of the number one knocks, or the number one knock on the GoPro Hero 7, which that's what I'm using, guys, by the way. I didn't tell you guys that. This is a Hero 7 Black. Best Buy either was or maybe still is. They were running it for $329. I got it in the chest mount, and then immediately off of Amazon ordered their top rated triple charger and 4 spare batteries. So that thing can charge 3 batteries at once. It came with 4 batteries, and then of course the GoPro came with 1. So now I've got the capacity to charge 3 batteries, and I've got 5 batteries when I'm fully loaded. So I also did lower. One of those carp is right there. I just saw the tail come up out of the water. So we're gonna see a huge swirl here when I take about 8 more steps. That's actually a bass on a bed. Tail up. So anyhow, oh, there she took off. 5 batteries, triple charger. I did lower the settings this go around to 1440 and 30 frames per second at the recommendation of a couple co-workers of mine. I was running 2K and 60. The rocks, now over the rocks, and now off the rocks. I'm gonna cast this way for that one that because there are bass. And that's perfect timing anyhow, guys. We are done here at this spot. So, not the most productive day I've had here, but a lot of fun catching the dinks on the square bill, and a couple fighters on this thing. I am going to go ahead and shut down